This is CBN News Watch.
Thanks for joining us for CBN News Watch. I'm Mark Martin. President Trump's decision to send thousands of troops to the U.S.-Mexico border is drawing fire from critics. This as the White House embarks on 8-state, 11 campaign rallies ahead of next week's crucial elections. George Thomas has the details.
As hundreds of Salvadorian migrants continued their 1,500-mile journey by foot to the U.S. border this week, President Trump is vowing to deploy thousands of troops to the U.S.-Mexico border to stop them and thousands of other migrants from entering the United States.
As far as the caravan is concerned, our military is out. We have about 5,008. We'll go up to anywhere between 10 and 15,000 military personnel on top of Border Patrol, ICE, and everybody else at the border. Nobody's coming in. We're not allowing people to come in.
This was the scene at Fort Campbell, Kentucky on Wednesday as troops prepared for that deployment. Video released by the Department of Defense showed military equipment being loaded onto cargo planes for transport to Texas. Critics say the president's plan to deploy thousands of troops to the southwest border is simply a political stunt ahead of next week's midterm election. But Defense Secretary Jim Mattis pushed back.
The support that we provide to the Secretary for Homeland Security is practical support based on the request from the Commissioner of Customs and Border Police, and so we don't do stunts in this department. Thank you.
At a campaign rally in Florida, the president doubled down on his controversial idea to reform immigration, putting an end to the constitutional right to citizenship for babies born in the United States.
Hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrant children are made automatic citizens every year because of this crazy policy, and they are all made instantly eligible for every privilege and benefit of American citizenship.
The president's stop in Florida was part of an 8-state campaign push to shore up Republican support in key House and Senate and governor's races ahead of next week's crucial midterm elections.
CBN senior international correspondent George Thomas is here now for more on troop deployment to the southwest border. So, George, there's some confusion as to the exact number of troops that are being deployed. Talk about that.
Absolutely. Some dizzying numbers just in the past week. 7 days ago, the Pentagon announced it was sending 800 troops to the Mexican border to bolster the 2,100 National Guardsmen already deployed to the area. Then on Monday this week, that number jumped when the military said it would send 5,200 troops to the southwest border. A day later, that number increased again between 7,000 and 8,000 troops. And just in the last 24 hours, Mark, the president said, quote, anywhere between 10,000 and 15,000 military personnel on top of Border Patrol, ICE, and everybody else at the border, he said. The president obviously believes the media is underestimating the number of people in the caravans and wants to be prepared. Incidentally, Mark, if the 15,000 troops were actually deployed to the border, get this, that would be the almost the same amount of folks serving today in Iraq, in Afghanistan, close to about 15,000.
Well, George, as you mentioned in your story, the president is on an 8-state campaign swing over the next 6 days. What is his strategy with all these stops?
Well, I mean, it is in essence to make sure that he has a firm hold on what happens next week. As you mentioned, he has 11 rallies between now and next Tuesday. He's in Columbia, Missouri tonight, Huntington, West Virginia, and Indianapolis, Indiana on Friday. Saturday, he's in Montana and Florida. Sunday, he has rallies in Georgia and Tennessee. And finally, on Monday, he campaigns in Ohio, Indiana, and Missouri. Mark, again, all these rallies are aimed at shoring up Republican support in key House and Senate as well as governor's races. Critical week for the Republicans and the White House next week.
All right, George Thomas, our senior international correspondent. Thanks for staying on top of it.
You're welcome.